Hi, and welcome back to the next episode of The Culture Reel.
Hello, guys. I hope you're all well.
Yes. It's been a minute, a whole week, probably.
Yes, and you know what?
Welcome
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming back.
We appreciate you. You're smart, you're loyal.
We respect that. We respect that you put some respect on our name.
Here we are back again.
So,
we're going to
lots have been happening, and one of the things we wanted to touch on last week, but obviously we had lots to talk about last week, but one was about the spike in crime in London, which has been incredibly, unfortunate. I think for us as Londoners, I personally always say I'm Lagos born and London bred.
Yeah,
that's
same.
That's how it is. So as us as Londoners, I thought we were, obviously I mean we as Londoners, I thought we had gone through that gauntlet. I thought we'd gone past that.
Yeah.
I thought, the fact that we've overtaken New York in crime.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Actually insane.
That is crazy.
I mean, growing up sort of like in the 80s, 90s, you always hear sort of like how bad New York was or is at the time. And you just always think, shit, whenever I make it to New York, I've just got to be extra careful and, stuff like that. And now the fact that that's not even the case, and probably New Yorkers are thinking, shit, when I go to London, I've just got to be really careful. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre.
The fact that since the beginning of the year, over 30 people have been fatally stabbed in London is crazy.
It's really heartbreaking because these are all young people as well. It's just a lot of these people who have been fatally killed through stabbing are under the age of 20.
My thing is, what has you all so angry?
What
is it? It's like when a 13-year-old stabs another 13-year-old. I'm thinking in my head, your life hasn't even started.
Yeah, what could you be?
What could you be so pissed off about that your life hasn't even started? The gangs. My sister taught me this word. The ops, and I said, "Oh, is it operation?" She said, "No, opposition, man. Get with it."
Wow.
Sis. I said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I was like, "Oh, all right."
I didn't even have a younger sibling.
Again,
to tell me that.
Exactly. This is what happens when you have younger siblings. Is that they tell you what the street lingo. I don't know if. I don't really know what to say. It's just so senseless. These murders or these stabbings or this beef. Inverted commas, quote unquote. This beef that the youth are having amongst themselves. It's just nuts.
Do you remember sort of like growing up what like the worst thing was sort of like people repping their postcodes, like their areas? That's what I remember when we were growing up. It was just like, Brixton youths can't go to Peckham and vice versa, or else, someone's going to get stabbed or, murdered. Like, it was basically turf wars. That's what I remember. So now sort of, I don't know, like, cough, 20 years later or whatever, it's like, because I won't be able to understand, a youth mentality because I am not a youth and I'm not going through the things that the youth are going through at the moment. But I am very interested to understand what they are all thinking at the moment. A friend of mine, a very, very good friend of mine, owns a youth organisation in Stockwell, South London. And she started actually her youth company because one of her friends that she had known when she was younger was fatally murdered through stabbing on the estate sort of like near where she lived. And she was just like, do you know what, I've had enough. She was 22 at the time, I've had enough. And so she started a youth organisation. So for the last 10, 11 years, and she's been trying to help the youths in the area, just, I guess, like stay away from, gang culture, knife crime and all that kind of stuff. But there are sort of like times throughout the year when she's just like, she'll get a phone call, shit, this young person's in trouble with the police. This other young person is, in hospital, or, this someone's gone missing. And honestly, I don't know how she does it, where it's just like she, she cares so much and she's doing so much for these kids, but then to sort of like get a phone call like that, I can't imagine what a parent must go through just thinking this. So I mean, I think part of the problem, do you think that part of the problem is, because another part of this thing is that I read that, the government or Mayor of London are going to just put out more police on the streets because they think that's what's going to tackle knife crime. And that only says to me, it's just like, okay, that's more stop and search. My brother, when he was 14 years old, was stopped and searched by about 6 policemen in a bully van with like AK-45s or whatever, those big machine sort of like airport guns. He was 14 at the time, walking home from like football with his mate. And it was just like, oh, you look like a suspect from a robbery. Really?
Wow.
Really?
What?
Firstly, if it was a robbery, it's just like, do
casually
you need...
strolling down the road?
Yeah, it's just like, would I be casually strolling? Secondly, would you need 6 policemen, a bully van, and AK-45s or whatever it is?
To apprehend a 14-year-old.
Yeah, to apprehend a small boy like this. So since then, I'm just like, no. Because, God forbid if this was like somewhere like America, I mean, the police...
They would shoot first and
ask
questions
later.
later.
This is it. And I was just like, nah. I mean, since then I don't know, my heart, just every time I hear sort of like police, I'm just like, no, I'm not into it. Because they can sort of... I'm just not into it. I just don't like it. So,
my sister Angel, we were speaking in the car actually about all of the stabbings, the killings, and no surprise to everyone listening, but of course, the majority of people being murdered are black. Shock. Of course not. And she said, since the Conservative came into power, they've closed down all the youth clubs.
I was going to say this, yeah.
Places where that, these young, I will say black, because again, the majority of that, are being caught up in all of this are young black boys and girls. Obviously, a few girls have been murdered as well, or wrong place, wrong time, whatever, crossfire, whatever. Is that... She said, well, the Conservative, they've come along and said, oh my God, there's a problem, Londoners are running riot, but then you've closed down their place of sanctuary, you've closed down... my sister was saying that a lot. My sister is 21, she'll be 21 in July, and she said, that she knows a few boys that they kind of gave up on school. They were like, look,
yeah.
This
Same
is what
as my friend
is.
with her youth group.
Yeah.
So she knows that kids that, maybe they get kicked out of school,
exactly.
or, they can't go to school.
Well,
whatever
the statistic, the statistic is, you're more
likely to be kicked out of school if you're a young black boy, because basically the teachers don't know how to handle you, and everything just comes across as like rude or aggressive, and that might not necessarily be the case. So I just think a lot more money, with the money that they're spending on deploring or bringing out more sort of like apparently 300 extra police in the UK, that money could be spent going towards youth groups, youth clubs, extra training in school. To me, it just seems like, oh no, look, the blacks and the browns are sort of going off again. Let's just throw some more police out there and just knock them down.
That's not going to solve the problem.
It's not going to solve the problem.
It might
there's
even,
a deeper issue
you know what?
here.
It's just adding petrol onto fire. You're adding fuel onto fire.
There's a deeper issue here.
There is a deeper issue, and Theresa May's...
She don't care.
She don't give it... Why should she?
Exactly.
Why should she?
Exactly.
Why should she? You can guess what party we vote for. But anyway, politics to one side. The Conservative Party, they just don't get it. They don't understand.
This is it. It's a completely different type of life. It's a completely different lifestyle. They probably have only heard about, quote unquote, disadvantaged youths and, sort of like the gangs and the violence. This is all the stuff that they probably hear from, I don't know, in the media, or what's perpetrated sort of like in sort of, I don't know, Channel 5 documentaries and et cetera, et cetera. So it's just, what they see isn't exactly what the truth is. And it's just, I don't know, I'm concerned that they are not speaking to the right kind of people. They are not getting a full evaluation about what is actually happening. There's a part of me that also kind of feels like I'm not taking away from the heartless murders or, the gang violence that's been happening throughout. But there's a part of me that feels like violence has always been happening, but for some reason, the media seems to be picking up on it extra, just a lot more recently. And I'm not quite sure. I feel like it goes through phases. Like, where, again, when we were younger, it just seemed to be, okay, this was in the news every day. And maybe when I was younger, I couldn't really quite understand why.
Like the model, the Nigerian model that got stabbed to death.
Yeah, what's his name, Harry?
Yeah, Aruzuka.
Yeah.
What?
That was completely sad. Do you know what?
Senseless.
Honestly, I feel like there's more to that story that we don't know, that maybe hasn't been covered in the media.
There's a lot that we don't know, that because they're just it's just another racial killing. It's just another black killing. So to the media, they don't give a shit.
I think they're only concerned with sort of like selling papers, and what sounds good is that black people are murdering each other.
I read a really
are they savages?
Just to put it into context. So 21 Savage. There was something on Twitter that made me laugh, just in the context of people not really caring about black kids and being stereotypical. But he started a bank account campaign where he wanted to teach children how to be financially literate, which I thought was very, very good. How to save their money, how to invest their money, how to elevate themselves. So some American publications said, hip hop rapper does X for charity, and someone tweeted that, if it was something derogatory, had something to do with guns, drugs, you would have said 21 Savage, aka his real name, his date of birth, his address. But all of a sudden it's just hip hop rapper when he's actually done something good.
Like,
and that's exactly the same.
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly the same. When it's something bad, I mean, look how many times they've tweeted Stormzy, or they've thanked Stormzy.
I was just going to say this. Why Stormzy's connected to everything that a black person does. Everything. Literally everything. Black person tripped on the road. So it suddenly become black person friend of Stormzy. Tripped up on the road. Why must Stormzy be included in everything?
Leave Stormzy alone.
Leave him.
Exactly. But do you know what it is? They're trying to drag him down.
But
they're trying to affiliate him with nonsense.
It's just like, because do you know what the problem is? Like, everybody loves, not everybody, but the media loves a good rags to riches story.
Yeah.
But as soon as you step away from that and you try to make a name for yourself outside and try to do good, they always try to drag you back down to the rags part. It's just like, but you started doing drugs. Every time Anthony Joshua does something, the Nigerian, blah, 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 blah.
But when he wins a fight, he's British.
The British boxer.
Yeah. Absolute nonsense.
Pick one. It's just, do you know what? I actually saw something the other day that just made me so mad, sort of in relation to this. The author of British, Afia, sort of the Daily Mail did an article on her, sort of saying how ungrateful she was.
Can you imagine?
Ungrateful. She's British born. She's British, but because she's brown and she's speaking about race and about how other cultures, other people of different races.
Because she didn't say thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 3 bags full.
Why does she have to say that though?
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't have to say that.
I saw that.
That just got me so mad.
Absolutely
so mad.
Disgraceful.
How dare you?
Absolutely disgraceful.
And that's exactly what it is. It's just like, okay, well, we either need you to be this or this.
Yeah.
And if you're not any of those things, then you're scum. And this is how we're going to talk about you.
Exactly.
And this is how we're going to write about you.
Exactly.
So if you're sort of like small children who, who haven't had the best start in life, you're scum. It just doesn't really matter. So I'm going to write this about you. If you die, who cares?
And even if you do make it, you're still scum.
Yeah.
That's how
we basically cannot win.
That's how the press view us. And that is why people don't care. Because do you remember a few years ago, many years, it must have been a good 10 years now, I believe, when very sadly, when Ben Kinsella was murdered. He's the brother of Brooke Kinsella, the EastEnders actress.
Right.
Yes, he had I won't call her famous, but well-known actress. Yeah. She was in EastEnders, well-known actress, sister. And he was also, I think he was also an actor.
Okay.
When he died, my God, the press, it was everywhere. And it was in the peak of when loads of London kids were stabbing each other, shooting each other. And, I thought to myself, well, fair dues, because, I'm not going to take anything away from Brooke Kinsella, because she has been a massive advocate for making London streets safer, and for that she has my utmost respect. And you know what, there were a few interviews I watched with her, and she was gracious, and you know, it was terrible, and I felt like I had lost my own brother, you know, through her. But then I feel that way whenever someone loses a son or a daughter in such a violent way. But one thing I do say, and this is actually not about Brooke Kinsella, this was about the British press, is that they reported on that like there was no tomorrow, like there weren't other children dropping dead like flies. And I thought, wow,
think I very loosely
this is, and I'm going to say this is white privilege, not because of Brooke, but because again, no disrespect, so she was fantastic, and it was about making everyone's child safe, and that's what I really liked about her campaign. But I thought, what white privilege? Again, when the Harry Potter actor, when he was murdered, it was nuts. It was crazy. The press was just going on. I just thought, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Other than, obviously, we've had the real brutal black killings. So you had the Stephen Lawrence, you had the Damilola Taylors. Of course, they were that was an international mess because the British police fucked that up. Yes, they fucked that up. Because they didn't give a shit. Because as Stephen Lawrence's parents said, the Metropolitan Police are racist.
Of course they are.
Of course they are racist, and they are blatantly racist. They're not even trying to hide the fact that they're racist. You know,
they just don't care.
And can I just say this out loud, like Londoners, listen to me and listen to me well. Because I didn't even vote for Sadiq Khan, but I'm going to say this as a Labour supporter. Now, this is not even about my political views, but I don't know where you guys were all coming thinking that Sadiq Khan was going to be your saviour.
Well, this is it. Do you know what?
Because he's not.
Okay, so I think there's a problem with how, I guess, people of colour are going to hate the term, who go in power, versus, I guess, a non-person of colour, sort of like white, etc. When, Boris Johnson was Mayor of London, no one had asked him to do anything because, do you know what? I think people thought, you know, he's a doofus. He's a fun-loving doofus. He's not going to do anything. Yeah.
He's privileged.
No one's going to ask anything of him. I mean, are we going to say that there was no knife crime when Boris Johnson was in power?
It was rife.
Just as it is with Sadiq.
Well, so it's just like Barack Obama. Everyone thought, all the black people thought he was going to come and save their problems overnight.
Well, this is it. I think sometimes when it's just like, okay, well, you know, black, brown person, you've come this far, so now you have to change the world. It's just like, it's almost a bit too much that you're asking for this person. It's just like, if you're not going to ask the same thing of a white person, then it's unfair to ask.
Agreed, 100%.
It's just too much.
Let's
Everyone's
keep it real.
sort of like saying,
do not be
why isn't Sadiq doing anything? You said that you were going to change it. There's only so much that he can do.
You know what? Londoners, I'll say this again, so listen and listen well. It's time for us to stop being fantasists and start being realists. The realistic view, the realistic version, the realistic ideology is that no one man can change it on his own.
Also, let's say for just argument's sake that Sadiq Khan was just like, actually, I'm going to ban all knives in the UK. He can't do that without the government backing.
Exactly.
So,
and guess who's in the government?
Exactly.
Theresa May and her people.
Exactly. And
the Conservatives.
Who doesn't care about black people?
Theresa May and her people. The Conservatives.
He's fighting a losing battle. Like, Sadiq, no matter what he does,
the Conservatives do not care about black people,
black and
brown people, green people, purple people. So far,
even poor white people.
Even poor white people. You are not cared about. Please,
everybody.
Please
needs to
wake up and understand. Smell the fact that they want you to finish yourselves in poverty. That's all they care about. There were white people in Grenfell Towers.
Yeah.
Theresa May were coming along with her square high heels. Come at the 11th hour. And it's only because she showed up is because she was. It's only because she was pressurised into doing.
Do you know what? I look at everything with a press eye. I was just like, I know that you're public.
Yeah, because
I'm a PR, sorry.
Tolu's in PR, so she already knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, I'm just like, you turning up at this sort of, or you with your scripted, apology or whatever. It's just not.
I was I actually was gagging when I was watching her bullshit on national TV. I was gagging every time number one, every time I see Theresa May's face, I feel sick. But the fact that she was just reading, it was just so, you weren't even sincere about it, Theresa. It was just disgusting. I'm thinking, do you actually believe the people of London, even the ones who voted for you, do you actually believe we believe that what you're talking about? That your nonsense speech, you think that came from the heart? Who are you? Who are you trying to
You guys can't see me, but I'm giving side eye sort of head snap towards it. Like, honestly,
I mean, we know you'd rather be at home sipping tea.
Or Prosecco, or whatever it is that
she's a devout Christian or devout Catholic. Whatever, she's devout.
Okay, so anyway, I have thoughts on this, but anyway.
What about Theresa?
No, just about sort of maybe Catholicism and religion and stuff. Anyway, I do think sometimes
we can get onto that. That's a whole other thing, especially as Nigerians.
Exactly.
So we need to. That's a whole other level. But the fact, I'm just saying that, the Christian way, but you have to be.
Christian way would be, let's help everyone. Love thy neighbor. Let's help everyone. This is why I have some slight
telling me that only over 70 people perished in that whole damn tower.
The whole building.
The whole building.
Building, I live in a flat. My own building, I was told that 200 people live in there. Over 200 people. It's only 8 floors. Grenfell Tower was 22 floors?
I don't even know. Yeah, over 20 floors.
Just don't... Like, they really must think we're stupid. They really must think we're stupid.
It just makes me really angry. And, oh my God. I'm not saying... Look, yes, I am a Labour girl. And in my opinion, Labour are the better of both evils. However, what I may personally think about Jeremy Corbyn, put that to one side. In my opinion, they are the better of both evils. And yes, maybe Tony Blair's government and Gordon Brown's government didn't do a lot of things. And actually, as a centre-left person, I do actually believe there are a lot of things they fucked up on, guaranteed. However, have a bit of compassion. Yeah. The Conservative Party has no compassion.
They literally don't care about anyone.
They don't give a shit about anyone who's not rich and white.
That's it, full stop.
Yeah, that's it.
Full stop, exclamation point.
Exclamation point, there's nothing to add to that.
Thank you, good night. That's it.
We'll be here next week. That's it. And that's why we're getting shady reports on all of the stuff that's going on in London, because you're right, probably we don't get the whole story, because
I don't think we do.
No, of course we don't. It's tainted.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God,
it's tainted.
It's massively tainted, because I don't. We can. Do we think honestly? I think I read somewhere that the crime in Scotland and school exclusions in Scotland has been the highest it ever has been in sort of like the last 5 years. This hasn't made our news. Is that because Scotland's predominantly white? Is that because...
There you go.
Why? This was just sort of like a tiny byline at the end of an article. But, the main article was just like, oh no, black kids are killing each other again.
Yeah.
Obviously sort of like focus on that. But like, if it's happening in other, I don't doubt for a second it's happening in other regions.
What's really funny? What's really funny is it's not funny actually. I don't even know why I'm saying it. I'm saying it because I'm pissed off. I'm getting angry. Is all I've read in the papers over the last few weeks is, oh my God, street stabbings and, this poor person was stabbed again, this one. And anyway, Ant and Dec, back to Ant and Dec, Ant this and Ant that and Ant this and Ant that. It's Ant that. So, poor Ant in a car crash, Ant in this. Oh my God, Declan Donnelly, he's going to do the very first show on his own.
How will he manage?
How will he survive? Oh, I think the 60 million sitting in his bank account will make things okay.
I do think it's very interesting how we are made to feel sorry, for someone who has risked his life and other people's life.
Yeah.
You've gotten drunk on your own term, and you've gotten in a car, and you caused a crash.
Yeah.
So this, if this was Stormzy...
Oh! If this was Stormzy... Poor Stormzy...
Honestly,
He would, his mum, his dad, his ancestors.
What are they even doing in this country? They should have been grateful to even be able to afford booze or a car.
That's it. But no, it's we must, he's fighting his own demons.
I thought,
what kind of bullshit? Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield are all poignant on this morning, like and has, you know, like, I don't know, he's got some incurable disease or something like that. You know, I just thought, are you kidding me? You guys are going, this guy has the world at his feet. Yeah. And then you have children dropping dead. Yeah. You know, and it's just, oh yeah, another person's been stabbed. But let's go back to Ant and Dec. You're kidding me. You know what? I can't stand the British press sometimes. Yeah. I really can't. But you know what? That's all I'm going to say on the matter. It is, look, youth of London, if you guys ever hear this, you guys need to start looking after. Look, you know what I was listening to the other day? Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? And the lyrics in that, the very first...
That's interesting that they're still relevant from what, the 70s, 60s?
Because it's saying what's going on. It's like, you know, the lyrics are literally, mother, there's far too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know, we've got to find a way. What else do you... Listen to the song, you know? I mean, the man was a revolutionary. Don't let me start on my love for Marvin Gaye. But it's just, you guys just need to take it easy, man. I mean, what is going on, like, you know, boys and girls of London, youth of today? But what is going on? You know, it's sad. And I hope you guys all find some love in your heart and some patience with one another to just honestly talk it out, man.
Better. Whatever is happening, whatever you're going through at the moment isn't the be all and end all. And you know, there is more outside.
Absolutely. And again, this is a platform for Tolu and I to obviously speak about these issues. So at Abbey Films,
I'm actually really interested in getting a few sort of like youth workers on. I might get my friend who owns the youth charity in South London. Maybe if we can get a male youth worker as well, that would be,
you know, and also those who have fallen foul or the wrong side of the law. Us, you know, we want to get to know you. We want to know your, you know, what's led you down that path, or how you're trying to bounce back, or if you have made it out of the gangland culture, what changed your life around. You know, we're very, very interested. As I said, you know, we are passionate Londoners. So, you know, come chat with us. We'd like to speak to you.
Yeah, let us know. That was hard to talk about.
It was hard to talk about because, you know, I've got younger sisters. I hopefully will have kids one day. And I love this city. I really love this city.
I do love London.
We're incredibly fortunate to have...
We are. I think as second generation?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very fortunate. You know, not lucky to be in our position, Daily Mail, but, you know, we are very fortunate. A lot of us are very fortunate to be in this position. We could be in worse situations in life. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we should die.
Exactly.
We should be in a position where, you know,
we're easier to die. And you know what, boys and girls, youth of today, don't come and die for a flipping city that feels no way about you.
That literally doesn't feel a way about you.
Don't come and die for that. You know, you guys, you've got so much postcodes and area. These postcodes were here before you guys were born. They're going to be here long after.
And a lot of things are being gentrified. So they'll be there afterwards. But they won't look or be the same thing afterwards.
I mean, let me tell you something. When I was younger, I used to go to the market with my grandma a lot, Brixton Market.
I was just going to say this. Brixton Market was not what it is right now.
She used to hold on to me for dear life. She used to hold on to me. We used to walk down Cold Harbour Lane and she would hold on to me. Now, let me tell you something. A few posh white people that I know were telling me, oh, darling, I'm going to go for lunch in Brixton Village. And, you know, it made me think, I thought, is this the same Brixton?
Yeah.
That people used to want to have to wear bulletproof vests.
This is it.
Is this the same one that now?
Exactly the same thing.
And you think, look at Shoreditch. Guys, you guys want to be going out in Shoreditch. Look at Shoreditch. Look at Hackney. You know, look at Peckham. These places have become so gentrified that, you know, you guys are killing yourselves over turf wars that 20 years from now will not be the same. It makes no sense. You guys need to start thinking with your heads. You know, it makes no sense. And you're supposed to be, you love London so much, you're fighting over these areas that you guys should be using your creativity, you know. I'm sure whether you don't even need to be good at school, you know, like, as in academically good, but I'm sure all of you guys you've definitely got something to contribute to society.
I have so many different ideas. There's a part of me that was just like, okay, I really want to do some work with the youth where they're able to express their creativity, because I do think a lot of them, because I know sort of like having grown up with a lot of people who did struggle at school and stuff because they weren't very academically strong, but creatively, and physically they were stronger in sort of like other areas. So I just kind of want to give these young people a chance to sort of like express themselves in a different outlet. Like, again, my brother is so incredibly smart. Like, he's so smart with maths, but he wasn't very good at school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, okay, he needed like a different outlet. And I think maybe either teachers need to be trained maybe differently to be able to handle those who don't sort of like, you know, learn in the traditional way. Or, you know, not everyone is misbehaving.
But do you know what? Even I remember when I was in school, and a white girl would do exactly the same thing, and then I'd do something, and I'd be like, "Oh, what's the problem?" Like, "Oh, Abby, stop being aggressive."
Yeah, that's what it is.
Abby, stop being so aggressive.
Well,
my nickname was Biddy back then. They'd be like, "Oh, Bid, stop being so," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah,
Katie just did the same thing.
But this
what
is
are you talking about?
It's like young black people aren't given a chance to express themselves, to be passionate, to be angry, to be sad. When, you know, young black people
being labelled.
Yeah, without being labelled. It's like, oh, she's being aggressive. Oh, you know, she's being disruptive. You know, it's just, I think maybe a lot more funding needs to go into training.
Yeah, but that's
into
not going to
understanding. Well, the money that they're investing into police, invest it into training.
No, because what they want to do is lock more.
Of course, because the money,
black, brown, and whatever ethnic minorities. That's what they want to do. They want to lock them up.
Once again, like, no one is thinking about the black people. No one cares about us. No one cares about us. Which is,
you know what song is in my head?
What?
All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. No, but, you know, Michael Jackson had a point, right?
He did. And again, once again, so he's relevant again.
Exactly.
For this time.
So, you know, and I've got to
just
inject some music into everything. But it's just, you know, on a serious level, it makes me sad because, as I said, I love this city and I hate the fact that the youth are killing each other over idiotic stuff. You know, it's just not worth it.
I feel like there's more. There's got to be more. I feel like I don't know. Again, I'm not a young person. I don't work with young people. I would like to do more of that. But there's got to be more. I'm not 100% convinced that this is all that they are fighting about. I feel like there's more.
Well, you know, there might be more, but them, you know, they're not getting their point across in the way that, you know, that's right.
But if this is all they know, then this is all they know, and that's the only way that they can. I don't know. This is definitely something that we need. I would again love to get some youth workers on the show. Kemi Folarin, who works at Young People Matter in Stockwell in South London. Marcus Dawes, who also works at the same charity. So anybody else who works with young people or charities around London, I think it will be really just or drop us a line on Twitter or, you know, something. I do think there's more that we can do, and I'm actually really interested in volunteering my time and spending more time with the youth and young people in and around London. So get in touch with us. And
get in touch with us.
There's more that we can do to help the youth. And
it was, you know, again, this is the cultural. So as much as we love talking about films and you know, books or whatever we might want to talk about in the future, it is culture.
This is our culture. This is what
matters
we grew up
to
with.
us.
Yeah.
And we want to.
And the young
even
people,
with our little voices, we want to be able to make a change and help make a difference. So, thank you for listening to this. Yes, I know it was heavy.
Yes,
I'm probably uncomfortable to hear for some people to hear, but it needed to be said, and I didn't want people to think that we're...
I'm sure we're not the only ones that are talking about this issue at the moment. So
I didn't want people to think, you know, we're not obviously we're aware about it, and we wanted to highlight it as well. So thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning into our Minisode. That's a new word that I'm using for a mini episode, 30 minutes long. I'm very proud of that one.
She is. You guys hear us later.
Yeah, so hopefully we can bring you some more minisodes on current events, things that happen now, and our viewpoints and how we are trying to help the situation, etc. So we'll see you next time.
I'm Abby.
And I'm Tolu. And this has been The Culture Reel.
Bye.
Bye.